The content on this platform may not align with the views of a certain party or organization. It's important to note that the views and opinions expressed on a platform are often those of the individual contributors and not necessarily reflective of the organization. In this case, Caribbean American news media may not be held responsible for the content posted by its contributors. It's important for individuals to critically evaluate the information they encounter and consider multiple on the platform. It may be helpful to address them directly with Cam. The content
Another rant from the hilltop. Koute Black.
Les 7 lycéens. Nous les 7 lycéens. Bonjour, bonjour, bonjour les 7 lycéens, bonjour. Les 7 lycéens, là, nous pas qu'à aller dehors là. Kadi Bradley Felix marché en house là, les chasne. Les 7 lycéens, est-ce que Bradley Felix? Moi connais monsieur in and out. Bradley Felix c'est qualité c'est ministre. À 20 ministres non. Bradley live avec respect. Bradley live avec caractère. Bradley Felix. C'est pour ça moi choisi pour moi suivre Bradley Felix. J'ai qu'attendre pas vle monter pour élection encore parce que c'est un homme qui lève droit. Les cette lycée au cas ouais en house là Bradley samedi pour un côté Bradley était ha check speaker Claudius Francis. Dertem, il samedi check l'idée était non bail pour te faire. Et les chasse n'était qu'à parler, peut-être les arriver, y aller. Mais Bradley pas ça aime tourner douille Alan Shastney because Bradley Felix savent Alan Shastney is one of the best prime ministers. Bradley Felix as a MP savent si pour cette lycée vie en place, si pour cette lycée vie ni la vie, si pour cette lycée vient les pieds, c'est mais Alan Shastney là. So no need to worry my people. Bradley pas ça jamais fait ça. Jamais. Les cette lycée moi vle à danser cette lycéen qui pas vle Alan Shastney monter pour Prime Minister. Moi vle yo dit pour qui ça? Moi vle yo ba yon raison. Les cette lycéen pas folle pour parole les bas parti. Les cette lycéen moi réaliser et réaliser les bas parti pas vle Shastney fait Prime Minister because of Shastney ni une vision passé yo. Shastney ni plan pour pays. Et les cette lycéen about ways up what vote by Alan Shastney. Gade chalet gauche yo ka by Alan Shastney. Qui pas give up. Even Claudius Francis, Speaker of the House. Comment il a tweeté Alan Shastney? Et Alan Shastney toujours a dit qu'on Speaker of the House, Speaker of the House. Et bien a doué signe. Et Alan Michael Shastney, moun ni pour ka vie mettre dans office. Alan Michael Shastney, ou pas vle faire Prime Minister pour quoi ou vle faire pour mes pays nous. Ou vle faire pour tirer nous en misère. Les 7 lycéens mettez Alan Michael Shastney en office pour me. Speaker of the House, Claudius Francis. Pli Alan Shastney kadou, il y a information pour dire building. Ou pas attendre, cause ou avec les bas parti, on a fait plan hot. On a fait plan hot. Mais pas worry quoi Claudius Francis. Evidence là kay vini en des yeux. Evidence là kay vini en des yeux Claudius Francis. As a Speaker of the House, ou pas faire un bon travail pièce. N'importe moun ka ou en qui les side ouye. Bazooka. C'est où Claudius Francis as a Speaker of the House, c'est où qui en est cause autant là mo ka fait because of changer ou dit. Ou dit long way di bazooka ou bazooka. As a gwanam kon as a Speaker of the House ou ka lo meno bazooka. Qui ça qui bazooka? Claudius Francis. Ou dit jik mosquito ou ka tue. Qui ça qui en bazooka Claudius Francis? So là où Claudius Francis as a Speaker of the House ka practice et preach se bay ça en Zoé en tête les bad boys là. Qui ça voulait yo faire? Qui ça voulait yo faire? Pour pas cet exemple non Claudius Francis. Ou ki lo men wap bay bazooka ay. Depi le, Joachim Henry te ale ek fizia an dan l'eglise. Hot ki ouve chime. Le papa di hot ki ouve chime bay bad boy pou fe bay ou sav. Hot.
At the SLP's Conference of Delegates in Vieux-Fort, Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre made a desperate attempt to rewrite history.
You will remember that the United Workers' Party only gave COVID support to NIC contributors.
This claim is absolutely false. The truth? In July 2020, under the UWP administration, 5,000 St. Lucians who were non-contributors of NIC received $500 a month for 3 months to help them survive the pandemic. Prime Minister Pierre knows the facts, yet he chose to lie to the nation. Why? To mislead and divide. St. Lucia deserves a leader who values integrity, one who speaks the truth, not one who tries to twist it. Pierre, pardon. We need real leadership, not deception.
All right, greetings to all our viewers on the Caribbean American News media platform, folks. It is good to have you here with us. It's Tuesday night, and if it is Tuesday night, it's going to be Caribbean American News media platform. It's going to be State of the Nation. I want to welcome all to the platform. Those of you who are viewing us through our GVD TV channel 115, welcome to Brother Soto there in Dennery South. Greetings to you, sir. I know that you're excited, you're happy for what you're seeing in the United Workers' Party. God bless you, even as you lie on your bed. May you enjoy, the hard work that is being done around the length and breadth of St. Lucia. So to our brethren over there in Swazel, Canaries, and Slovette, I believe it is, and Slovre, and Soufre, those of you viewing us from Grosile, throughout the every hole in Grosile. Grosile is a very large community. So greetings to all of you there, to our folks in England, Canada, the United States, in the Eastern Caribbean, wherever you're viewing us from, folks. We want to welcome you to the Caribbean American News media platform. It is a place where we present you the truth and nothing but the truth. And when we cannot present the truth, friends, then we keep our mouth shut. But we are happy that you join us. Those of you on our YouTube channel, thank you so much for increasing the viewership over there on that channel. Those of you who are on our Facebook feed, I want to thank you so much. Please share the live as you come in. It is very important, folks, that you share the live and you tag a friend. Now, I'm going to give you the opportunity to share like you have never shared before. Share, press that share button, press the like button. Whatever you're doing, friends, we're going to get this message out tonight. There are a number of items that we're going to be discussing tonight. I have a special guest with me, and I know the guest is very tired, been moving nonstop like a machine, and we're grateful for that. I will introduce my guest a little later on. I'm just trying to encourage you to be part of the program by sharing the platform. Those of you on YouTube, on Facebook, our GVD TV viewers, knock on your neighbor door and say, neighbor, switch to 115 GVD TV, and that is Flow. Yes, my friends. So there's a whole lot going. We heard that there was some shooting tonight in Castries. We have not confirmed that that incident, and so we await for the police and the other networks on the island to broadcast that news. We cannot confirm it, therefore we just going to alert you that there might have been a shooting in Castries tonight. All right, we continue to pray if it is true for those who are involved. A special good night again to all our viewers on the platform. Before I introduce our guests tonight, as a matter of fact, I want to say a special good night to our friend Mr. Wayne Harrow over there in Vieux-Fort. I just saw you And for some reason, your name is stuck in my head. So every time I see it, I remember Wayne Harrow, Cleo, and all the others. Thank you so much for being a part of this experience. Please share, share, share. Everybody must have this platform tonight shared in their different groups, even in their family groups. Send it to the Labour Party group because they're very concerned about my guest. So my guest is here tonight. So get your handkerchiefs, your whatever you use to cry all day today, get it in place. You will wipe your last tear tonight. I'm sure he will be able to give you comfort with your concerns. And surprisingly, the whole of St. Lucia is concerned about the United Workers' Party now, and I'm so excited about that. Free press is good press. I can tell you that. So keep talking, keep fueling the flubbo, and you will keep it ablaze until it blazes you out of the place, all right? So I said all that just to have you to share. Our YouTube channel is already not at capacity, but it is swinging over there. The digits are just swinging like crazy, and so we expect the same on our Facebook feed and the GVD TV channel throughout St. Lucia. We know that it is on. I have some friends in Denry South who are watching on the big screen. I want to welcome you, Denry South, from La Pointe to over the bridge Denry to Green Mountain, Bois Joli, wherever you're viewing us from on the big screen. I want to greet you and to all our St. Lucia Labour Party supporters who are here. Greetings to all the reporters of the Labour Party who are coming to look for some type of news. Greetings to you. You are welcome in the house, and we're going to get straight to work. We have something here from Miku North, and we're going to share it quickly, okay? We're going to go over to Miku North now. Just bear with me, folks.
Generally, he's a man of from my standpoint, I probably think Elisha having a sister with being differently able have really shaped his character concerning people. And joining the Council for the Disabled just shows one side of him, and because it was a voluntary post, handling that amount of money, I will always go back to that. That was a test. And for me, knowing him 20 years later, seeing his progress as a father, as a teacher, as a professional, I realize he's a man who is serious about what life takes to succeed. And I think he could carry that into wherever he goes, carry that quality wherever he goes. He's a hard worker and an honest worker, because I feel strength when that man is around me.
The land, the people, the light. The land, the people, the light. That is what we are fighting for.
I can feel a rising deep within, and that's the sign of a victory. That's the sign of a victory.
Yes, my friends, that was a very touching piece there. The land, the light, the people, indeed. That's what we fight for in the United Workers' Party. With me tonight is none other than the chairman of the United Workers' Party, Mr. THEROLD Prudent. He's well known in the political sphere in St. Lucia from his earlier days in the United Workers' Parties to establishing his own action network as a political party advocate, and experience here in New York, around the world when it comes to politics. He worked here in campaigns in New York that actually won, and so Mr. Prudent is well experienced, and you don't have to like him to accept that he's experienced. And I'm saying that to the hacks out there who are crying all day. I'm not sure what emotional thing has passed over St. Lucia from Sunday, but everybody is crying for Mr. Prudent. He's not Argentina. The song say, "Don't cry for me, Argentina." Don't cry for him, He can take his blows, I can tell you that. And he can stay standing while taking those blows. And so I want to welcome Mr. Prudent to the platform platform. He's no stranger to us here at Caribbean American News. And I'm sure for the people of St. Lucia, they have grown accustomed to hearing the name and knowing him, Mr. Prudent. I want to thank you so much for being here with us, and congratulations on a well-organized convention weekend. It was big. It was earth moving. I heard there were earthquakes in the region, and that's no coincidence, because you guys drop a hard game there on Sunday all day that caused the Labour Party to be concerned about pictures, about all kind of stories they're concerned about. But we will have a little chat about it. I also want to congratulate your mother. I wrote the name down. I believe her name is Frances Prudent. And I was so happy to see the United Workers' Party recognizing the stalwarts, those who have been there before, and have contributed. And so she was recognized for her service. I had the privilege of doing some research to see her contribution, and I'm telling you, folks, she's well deserving of it. And I want to congratulate her, congratulate you, sir, to have your mother alive and experience this beautiful moment. So, Mr. Prudent, I'm going to hand over to you to just your introduction, greetings and welcome again.
Good evening, Pastor Garfield, and good evening to all of your viewers. It's a pleasure to be online with you on this platform, I should say, and representing our party, the United Workers' Party. It's an exciting moment for us as UWPs. It's an exciting moment for us in terms of change. And we saw today how everything played out from Sunday, Monday, today's Tuesday, and suddenly we have a whole bunch of Labour Party supporters crying out crocodile tears for me, and enough to fill an ocean. Thank you.
So thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. And again, I want to invite the viewers to share the live. And let me just play this video on the award.
Cents a square foot.
I think I need to play that from the beginning, because I think we might miss a very important part of this.
Thank you very much. Our second award is the Women in Participation Award. And as we looked at our party over the last 60 years, Ms. Frances Prudent, who served faithfully for the United Workers' Party, is the recipient of this award. In the early years, after the party came into office, she served as a town clerk for Grosley. And listen, as a town clerk for Grosley, strategic position, people. It was during her tenure that all the lands in the area referred to as Masad were sold to the deserving individuals at 10 cents a square foot. This enabled hundreds of residents to relocate from the shanty homes in Grosley to building wall houses, that's making them the new middle class in the community. She was also part of the board which oversaw the early development of what is now called the Rodney Bay. She's still alive and here with us, and she was always passionate about issues of gender bias facing women in the country and within the UWP. In view of this, she was tasked with the responsibility in the early 80s of helping to create the very first women's arm of the United Workers' Party. Ladies and gentlemen, we are blessed, we are fortunate to have with us her legacy in the person of THEROLD Prudent, who will pick up the award on her behalf. And THEROLD, of course, is our chairman, as you know, And so he is supported very much by his mom, who he speaks about every day. Thank you, Carol.
All right. I will. We will have to play this back again at some point in the show. But I was shocked, Mr. Prudent. I didn't hear it from you. I know you speak a lot of history, but this one, you kept it from us. I never knew that your mom was part of this whole deal where citizens of the country were able to get land at 10 cents in Grosile. And I'm sure those lands are worth a lot of money right now.
A lot of money right now. And my mom was always an advocate for the poor, an advocate for women. And in the early days of the United Workers' Party in office, she approached Sir John Compton and told him that we needed to do something for the people of Grosile. Grosile was filled with mosquitoes and swamps, extreme poverty. People live in huts and small homes in those years. And my mom wanted to see a way out for the people of Grosile. So after discussing it with Sir John, he brought it to his then cabinet. They had vigorous discussions on it and eventually settled for selling those lands to the people of Grosile. And so many persons who were poor suddenly, for the very first time in Grosile, own lands in Massad at 10 cents a square foot. And my mom was part of the supervision of those lands in terms of ensuring who gets over there, who gets there, who gets over there. And she did it diligently, and she did it faithfully and sincerely to ensure that the people of Grosile would one day rise from the ashes of poverty into middle class in our own community.
And thank you, Mr. Prudent. So for the people of St. Lucia who are hearing this for the first time, and for those who are saying, well, the United Workers' Party has done nothing for St. Lucia throughout the years, I think you should go to Grosile and ask some of those people up there who benefited from such a bold move by Ms. Prudent and the John Compton administration up there. So again, to the United Workers' Party, I am proud to be a supporter of the United Workers' Party based on the achievement throughout the years of this United Workers' Party. And the party has not been all that perfect, but the party have touched a lot of lives, a number of people, and some of them are still living today from the 80s. Wow. All right. So again, to you, sir, I want to congratulate you and the entire executive for your reappointment to lead this party. And I strongly believe this is a time for national unity, a time for unity even within the party, the different groups, both in St. Lucia and around the world. It is a time that we put away our differences, sometimes little small stuff that we can get over internally. Sometimes we blow it up a lot, and I guess as human beings with weaknesses and difference of opinion, but we as United Workers' Party, Shelton Daniel said something 2 weeks ago and I appreciate it. He said, don't underestimate those flabos. When you see these flabos come together, there is no stopping them, and I'm happy. And I saw it on Sunday, the unity, the togetherness, that while people are complaining there is no candidates in place and we're not hearing and we need policy, you guys are actually working, Mr. Prudent. You want to tell us a little about it, and then we'll go into...
Yeah, well, this was a team effort, and I know many of our supporters even felt frustrated with us as the leadership of the party. But I can say to you, there are a lot of work, lot of hours, plenty of hours of meetings here, meetings there, meeting with candidates, potential candidates, trying to ensure that this convention would be one for the ages. We have to give special thanks to people like Jacinta Lee, who was the chair of the of the convention committee, a number of other persons who I don't necessarily want to mention because
Yeah.
of their work.
Yes.
You have to give thanks to everyone from the General Secretary like Janine Girodi, who worked very hard, Kellyanne, Bernadine, who worked very hard, and most of all of our chairpersons in the different branches. They pulled together, they came together to make this a reality. And the party only had a month to put together the convention.
Wow.
And we did that in a way that was impressive
Yep.
and in a way that have the St. Lucia Labour Party on the back foot. And we will continue keeping them on the back foot because that's where they belong until we drive them out of office.
Yes, and thank you. And up to Saturday night, I was still hoping that I would get a flight into St. Lucia. Sunday morning, I'm like,
You should have come.
I know when I got up on Sunday morning, I'm like, is it possible for me to land in St. Lucia on time to get to the convention? And I kept battling. And honestly, I felt so, I had all kinds of emotions, just wanting to be there, watching it, regretting, and all the other things. But it is what it is, and I'm happy that it was a safe convention, one that would ever be remembered in the archives of history.
Yes.
And you are the chairperson, and Mr. Shastney is the political leader, and there are other leaders who made this possible, and so we are ever grateful for that. Something happened at the convention. You presented as the chairman of the party, and I was told by somebody that the chairman of the party, of the United Workers' Party, is actually the main person who manages the entire political machine, to say. I'll confess that it was a little education for me, the way it was explained, and I think we need to maybe explain a lot more in time to come to the people of St. Lucia, the different roles, functions, and how. But something came out of that convention that I was excited about. The visiting guests, they were very good, on point,
They were
very respectful. They did not cross any line as far as I'm concerned. They did not insult.
Unlike those that the Labour Party have invited.
Right, they did not. Yes, they did not insult Mr. The Prime Minister of the country.
No.
And you guys, I mean, they were professional. That's all I can say.
Yes.
Unlike what we saw in the past from the Labour Party. But let's go to some work that you guys did on Sunday. First of all, you presented 5 new candidates to St. Lucia, and we saw a mixture of male, female, youth, experience, not too experience. How do you feel about the 5 candidates that was presented to the people of St. Lucia?
It took a lot of work through the process, which started with the branches, sending a number of recommendations as to, after they've interviewed the prospective candidates and giving us a little bit of feedback as to what they thought about or what they thought of the different persons they were recommending to run. There's a lot of work that went into doing background check. There's a lot of work that went into the interviews. There's a lot of work that went into going back to the communities where they come from to be able to ensure that these persons are what they say they are. And during that process, it was tedious, it was long, but eventually decisions were made and was approved at our National Council, which is one of the highest bodies in the United Workers' Party that make decisions and for the party, and they agreed that these are the persons that should run in the various constituencies.
Right. So
Now,
the local groups, the local what do you call them? Constituency branch were part of
constituency
the whole
branches,
process, and I'm sure
this
the political
is
leader
correct.
would have had an input at some point.
Yes, he has a big input in there, but knowing our political leader, he invites other persons to be a part of that decision. And it's not, in the end, like I said, even if the political leader say that, or we agree that this is the person, the National Council can either accept or reject this particular individual. In our case, for this cycle, they were approved unanimously by the National Council.
And the National Council is made up of all the chairpersons of the various.
All of the chairpersons and 3 delegates from every constituency.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
good. All right.
Yeah.
The other thing that came out, and I would want us to touch on them there, I believe 13 policy statements coming out of the party, and I am honestly, again,
But just before you go further, can I say a few words
Yes.
on the candidate?
Yes, go ahead.
Well, on Sunday, we presented what will be the future of a United Workers' Party government. Part of what will be the future of a United Workers' Party government. We presented to the nation persons with good intellect, experience, and persons who can make the necessary change that a United Workers' Party government wants to do in the various constituencies around the country. And I can say to you, we're pretty excited about the candidates that we've offered so far. And there will, in out of the 17 candidates that there will be, because we have 17 seats, we are presenting 12 new candidates. And that means that United Workers' Party is on a good footing because we have injected new blood into our party and into the representation, the future representation of the various constituencies. And we are on course or on path to be able to take this fight to the St. Lucia Labour Party. And we'll be ready at whatever point that Philip Pierre believes that he wants to call that election. And if he's not careful, we are going to force him to call it at any time too anyway.
Well, the way he's going, it looks like he's thinking about it, you know. And anything can happen in politics. We'll never be surprised, you know.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you for the insight there on the selection process and the candidates. I had the privilege of viewing, listening to their presentation, and as you said, some of them, majority of them are new. And will need to be introduced even more into different communities, meeting the people of the community, understanding the needs of those communities, you know. And I know that the work is cut out for them because it's an interesting time to become a politician. You know, these are very serious times, and it takes serious people who are committed, you know, to their country, St. Lucia. So we saw the ratification or the ratifying of motion at your 43rd annual convention. That was on Sunday in Venry South, and we have a range of motions that was accepted. I was also told that, and not by you, but these motions were put in motion, I would say, from the bottom up, and not the leaders of the party throwing it down at the people. And this is powerful in a democracy where the people are the ones who have influenced these motions and brought it so that the convention can ratify it and make it the official policies of the United Workers' Party. Have we done this before?
We've never done it. We've done it before, but not the way it was done this time. And it shows the depth of the growth of the United Workers' Party. It shows the depth of democracy within our own party. It shows the depth of encouraging people to be participants in terms of policy making. And you're right, it didn't come from the top, it came from bottom up. And those policy agendas will form some of will be presented in forms of policy in the next UWP government, and we have to ensure that they can help to improve the lives of St. Lucians and to strengthening key sectors and creating opportunities for our people. And this is necessarily the reasons why we accepted them, we ratified them, so that it can form the basis of how a United Workers' Party government is going to govern this country. I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry, I did mute my mic, but I saw something here that is very exciting, and that is the number one on the policy list is the National Health Insurance. It looks like the party is going to go back to their original plan in providing care for all St. Lucians. Is that so? Could you give us a little insight?
Yes, without a doubt. When we left office in 2021, it was always the plan of a UWP government, of a United Workers' Party, to be able to, if we have the opportunity and when we have the opportunity, which we will, with God's willing and the voters of this country, that we can offer access to all St. Lucians in terms of quality and affordable health care. You know, people need to be able to vote to pay for the doctor's visit, to pay for hospitalization, to pay for prescription drugs and other specialized treatments. And so, given the kind of poor healthcare system that we have currently in this country, and especially under the St. Lucia Labour Party government, we need to be able to give hope to the people of St. Lucia so that they will not be having to do raffles anymore. They won't have to be running to Martinique for care, because the care that is being offered here in St. Lucia will be comparable to those in other advanced countries in the Caribbean and around the world.
So, Mr. Chairman, so we're not just saying this because we want to say it and win an election. The United Workers' Party is serious. We are serious about this whole accessibility, access to good health care,
yes,
medication services on the island.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems that the party would have already looked at the logistics and would have done their studies on it, and that they can safely say now to the St. Lucian people, this policy number one, national healthcare insurance for all, it is something that we believe as a party can work, will work, and we are going to make it happen come what may.
And not only we can make it happen, had we won the last elections, it would have happened. And a lot of the issues that we faced in terms of the healthcare system in St. Lucia would have been eradicated through this national health insurance for all here in this country. You know, you need to give low-income families and seniors and a vulnerable population that we have in this country, our country, St. Lucia, an opportunity to be able to take care of their sick and themselves. We shouldn't have people being taken to hospitals like Skinny was. He spent a few days in the corridors of that hospital. until he was taken to a different hospital. I am saying we don't have animals here in this country. We have human beings that needs to be treated with dignity and be treated with respect. And any serious government will make healthcare a priority. And because we are a serious party, we are responsible for most of the development here in this country, and that's a fact. We can boast about it because in 60 years, every time a UWP government have been in office, we've made tremendous strides in terms of developing this country, moving it forward. Under Sir John Compton, every single constituency or every single district had a health center. And that was how we started. And we saw what happened with the last hospital. That was near completion.
Okay, Mr. Prudent got knocked out, and we'll be right back on our system. Please share the live and tag a friend. This time, we will take our commercial break, and we will be right back.
At Great Vision Designs, we value our customers and provide cutting-edge customer service. Great Vision Designs specializes in television broadcasting and live streaming of funerals, sports events, weddings, meetings, shows, and more. Call us today at 722-6542 or 726-9914, or follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Great Vision Designs, coverage you can count on.
And folks, we are right back. Our chairman is back. So, Mr. Chairman, you can continue. We know we had some technical issues.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, in essence, is that a United Workers' Party will deliver on its promise for affordable health care. And like I said before we had the technical difficulties, we need to be able to ensure that low-income families, seniors, and the vulnerable population in this country is once and for all not left behind, and that they can go to bed and assured that if today or tomorrow they are sick or their family becomes ill, that they have a government that have made the proper provisions for them in terms of healthcare.
Thank you so much. Because, like you said, we have a broken healthcare system with a lack of medication, lack of services, lack of professionals. It seems like the health system right now is in a mess. And, you know, with the incoming administration promising to take care of these issues, I think it's a welcoming something to all the citizens of the country. Let's go to fair and transparent taxi permit transfer. What is the issue in St. Lucia right now with the taxi service and the transferring of plates? I heard that there were some issues.
Yes, well, you know, sometimes a family member dies. He or she is the sole provider for the family through doing taxing. And sometimes that you can't transfer those particular permits to your family just like that. So a UWP government will enable the Ministry of Tourism to work with the relevant transport authority to establish a fair and transparent system for the taxi permit, and that will able to have families or children of the deceased parent to be able to own or have once and for all a permit that they can continue the life, continue to have a livelihood and to put bread on the tables of their families.
Yes, and I would believe that the system now, it's a little lengthy when it comes to transactions. You know, taxi drivers waiting. That's how they earn a living to take care of their families. And sometimes they're being ticketed. They got to park their vehicles waiting for services from the government transportation agency. And so it will be a good thing for us to at least, make things a little easier for our taxi drivers.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We also have we also have agriculture. We have a major problem. We also have a crisis of great proportion on the world stage heading over to small developing countries like St. Lucia. We know that Canada they're retaliating with tariffs.
Yes.
We have China getting ready to hit back the United States. The United States, just like it appears as though it is like a loose cannon, just going after stuff that might not be that broken. And countries like St. Lucia will at some point, we will have to take some drastic measures when it comes to food security in the country. I think we're importing a lot of stuff from the world stage, and we will have a major problem. It's on its way as we speak, Mr. Prudent.
Yes. Agriculture is the backbone of any nation. And it has been neglected by this government. I am going to say further that in the last report, which was last year, they failed in every aspect of fisheries, poultry, bananas. In every aspect of agriculture, this government failed. As a matter of fact, this current Minister of Agriculture should have been fired. This is not a man that should be holding such a position because he doesn't know what he's doing. And our government does not care. They only worry about the political aspects of things because as if they would fire him, that means it would make them look bad. But you have to think of the people of St. Lucia.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, what are they benefiting in terms of agriculture? But I will say to you that a United Workers' Party government will do everything in its power to invest in agriculture and in technical and in training for our farmers, and to ensure that the output, whether it be fisheries, whether it be say, for example, you're growing bananas, or if you moss or whatever, but at least the inputs are large enough not only to feed our people, because, like you said, we need food security here in our country, but we must be able to export to other countries so that we can have tangible economic returns from an agricultural base here in this country.
Yes, because I heard and also like seeing the introducing it into our schools. I think it's a good thing. But we saw a report from the Minister of Agriculture where they're going to be giving out monies to farmers again because of, I am not sure if these situations are as a result of neglect or just carelessness by our leaders, the Minister of Agriculture, that no boxes, and then you got to pay the farmers. Now no oil, you got to pay the farmers. St. Vincent have oil, enough oil that they can give us some, and all this craziness. Did we not know we didn't have oil? Or we have an issue with the black Saratoga disease in our bananas? I don't understand what is happening.
Well, if you keep failing, then you have to dip back into the coffer to continue to keep the farmers afloat.
Yeah.
But what we want to do as a United Workers' Party government is to offer financial support for farmers, including grants and affordable loans.
Yeah.
Not handouts.
Handouts.
Because they are failing because of government's policy and because of this government do not care about them. A United Workers' Party government have always believed, and a political organization have always believed in teaching a man or woman how to fish.
Yep.
And so we will provide them with the grants and the affordable loans so that they won't have to constantly depend on a little $500 check that is given to them to be able to sustain themselves. And I am saying this is pathetic. This is poor management, and it opens not only the government to criticism, but it opens our entire country to criticisms in terms of accepting a government and an agricultural minister that has failed in every respect to do with this particular industry.
That's right. That's right. And we heard the whole hoorah about the laptop program that the United Workers' Party discontinued it, and the government, start giving the laptops once again, and we find out that these laptops means nothing to the kids. The parents still got to go and pay hundreds of dollars in buying books, when the United Workers' Party, the last United Workers' Party administration, had a plan, I believe, where the books would have been on these devices.
Devices, yeah.
Is that what we're going to have again?
Yes, and better devices than what is being provided to the students at
Wow.
this time. And but we will also be engaging the educators, the parents, students in shaping an effective and sustainable digital learning system, so that our learning environment will be one based on technology, and it will be one based on teaching students what they need to learn without having to have a whole bunch of books or broken computers with which to work. And that's no way to respect an educational system. That's no way to respect the students of the country. And our government, a United Workers' Party government, will do all in its power to be able to upgrade the standard of learning here in St. Lucia. I think we missed out on number 4, which is the elimination of property taxes for seniors.
Yes, I just saw it. Yes. So you can go there right away. Yes.
Yes. A United Workers' Party government will remove property tax for homeowners aged 65 and older.
Wow, that's a big deal.
Yes. Of
Yep.
course, yes, because it will ease the financial burden on those retirees, and it will ensure financial security for seniors. You shouldn't be 65 years old and have to worry with your little pay check they give you for your retirement as to how you're going to live after you have retired.
Yep.
And we are going to be, and by doing so, eliminating the property tax for seniors at 65 years old will give them the kind of comfort, the kind of peace they need to be able to enjoy their retirement.
Wow, and I believe that will be a welcoming policy for our senior citizens in the country. I believe that we're not doing enough. We're giving them lip service and little patches, just like we do with the farmers. Instead of dealing with, the problem, we are covering it with a little $500, a little $1,000. And even with the e-books, the government, the SLP government, used this e-book as a campaign weapon against the United Workers' Party, and what they were saying is that it is too expensive. But what is too expensive to educate our children? Why is it too expensive when parents are spending hundreds of dollars on books?
Exactly. There should be no limits in terms of education.
No.
Because by having an educated population, it means that this country can do far better than it is doing at this particular moment.
Yes, and I think we have a problem with the SLP government, because everything that is of great importance to our nation, it is too expensive. The K9 unit was too expensive, and that was necessary to protect the citizens of the country. And now they're saying to us that the laptop was too expensive, the license is too expensive. But then the other things I see these guys are doing with GPH and the resources of the state, the government, I mean, that could be too expensive for the citizens of the country too.
Very much.
Yes, it could be.
Because at the end, even with the GPH, we've sold our ports for 30 years or more. The people who are going to benefit from it is not St. Lucians, it's GPH. And of course, our political leader has said that when we come back to office, we will revisit that particular agreement.
And should.
We will, because how do you call yourself a sovereign state? How do you call yourself an independent nation and you don't have control over your borders, over your ports and airports? I mean, this is pathetic. This is crazy.
It is crazy.
So you can't claim sovereignty when you have enabled foreigners to be in control of your ports and your airports. And this, I think, if any right-thinking St. Lucian have given this careful thought, it should make you angry enough to go out there and demonstrate against this nonsense.
Yep, and I was going to say the same thing, because the citizens are so calm and quiet, unlike the Labour Party. If it was the other way around, the Labour Party would have been either burning down every place, turning everywhere into plywood city again, blocking the roads, cutting down banana trees. They would have kicked up a storm if they were the ones in opposition at this time. And I believe that. So we have now affordable housing for St. Lucian. We saw what affordable housing is in this country right now under the SLP government. Housing Minister Richard Frederick, we saw their priority was to sell expensive land for cheap just to buy a headquarters. We saw the fights at the CDC. We see the bluff with the housing project in Castries there with BMAX, the confusion where the BMAX was given a deal, then it was cancelled, and then yes, it's still going to happen, but you don't know. There is no details how it's going to happen, what's going to happen. And we saw the little houses in Dennery that cannot stand a Category 0 hurricane. You can't even breathe on it because it will fall down. And we say, well, they had nothing, and we give them something. That's the housing policy of this government.
Yeah, but the United Workers' Party, you have to remember, Sanssouci was not developed prior to United Workers' Party coming into office. And it was a United Workers' Party government that took those lands, sold them to the people of St. Lucia, and allowing poor persons to come out of abject poverty to becoming middle class in Sanssouci. We also started the housing project in Rodney Bay, and to be able to afford to the people of St. Lucia an opportunity to own lands and to have their own homes. And we've done a lot in terms of housing and didn't build a toilet and call it a house. We build homes where people can live in dignity.
That's right.
Where people can know that for sure they feel secure in their homes, and that for many years to come, they can pass on this very same home to their children.
That's right.
But what was built in Dennery, there's nothing to pass on to anybody.
No.
At the end of the life of those persons who are currently inhabiting those homes. With our program and our plan, our policy statement on this is basically to utilize unused Crown lands. We are also going to be purchasing privately held lands and provide accessible financing options to the young people of this country and to families who truly need it. And most of all, to first-time homeowners. They are going to be the big recipients of this initiative by the United Workers' Party.
Yes, thank you. And because I believe that there was a great housing deficit in the country, and up to, I think it was more than 500, or I don't know if it's 1,000 homes that are needed right now.
Yes.
And the government have not really done anything, as far as I'm concerned, to put a dent.
You see, I'll tell you something. This Labour Party government, it operates like a mafia organization. And when I say a mafia organization, there is an inner circle where those that are elected, they eat and they eat with their jabals, their friends, and those persons close to them. When their bellies are filled and they're no longer hungry because they've ate so much, an outer circle where their political hacks and those who run their political campaigns, the crumbs from the table is filtered through that to those persons. But it's never enough for them to be able to even build a home or become successful, for supporting a St. Lucia Labour Party government.
Yeah.
Outside of that second circle, there is a third circle, and that's where the voters of the country are. The poor, the marginal, the oppressed. By the time this crumb from the table has filtered to their political operatives, there is nothing left in the third circle for the poor to be able to lift themselves out of poverty. And so you see, when it comes to housing, when it comes to education, the Labour Party will just give you enough to be able to control your votes. And you will always have to go back to them. So if you really need $1,000 to be free of poverty and to be able to become middle class, the Labour Party will continue giving you 10 cents and 25 cents to keep you afloat, but you will never get out of poverty, because this is how the Labour Party has governed our country every time that they're in office.
Yeah,
So in the end, there is nothing left for the poor. There is nothing left for those who truly need it. And they can control your vote through that mechanism.
That's right. That's right. What I would like to see with the whole housing situation in the country, there are thousands of St. Lucians who are living on Crown lands or government lands, you call it. And I believe it is time for us to free them up. They have been on these lands for all these years. All we got to do is to hand them papers, allow them to own those properties where it's possible. Where it's possible.
And that's what part of our policy proposal on affordable housing entails, and also the purchase of privately owned land. Yes, and making financing accessible to young people, low-income families, and first-time homeowners. Yes.
It's expensive, but it is something that is needed now. We are way behind time. It is something that we got to start right away, I believe, under this new administration.
Yes, it's expensive, but it's not an area that United Workers' Party does not have experience in.
That's right.
We have had plenty of experience in terms of affordable housing in this country, and we'll have a prime minister in the person of Alan Shastney, who is knowledgeable, who is experienced, and who is the only person at this current time, who can lift this country and offer hope to the people of St. Lucia.
Mr. Chairman, I would go, not to delay on housing, but I would go a step further. I believe it is time for us to look at the landscape in St. Lucia and look to build new communities in the country. I believe there are people that need to be removed from low waterline areas because of the the climate change issues that we're facing. We will have to keep putting out monies to repair their homes, to repair their furnitures, to replace every year or every time there's a hurricane. And maybe we need to start looking at new areas to build new communities on the island.
That is a good idea, and it is something I believe a United Workers' Party government would entertain or look into and see if it's feasible, and if it is, then we are going to attack it.
Amen.
Yes.
Thank you so much. So, you know what I'm excited about when I hear modern bus terminal in Castries
Yes,
and
yes.
Viewfort. Listen to me. It is so ridiculous when you have
Are you
to.
thinking of?
Go ahead.
Are you thinking of New York?
Listen. Well, you are a New Yorker, long before me, so you understand what transportation is all about.
Absolutely.
I mean, you don't even need a vehicle here.
To sit in a terminal and almost believe that you're in a hotel or an airport.
That's right. That's right. I believe it is time, and I am so excited about this. It is time for us to build, and St. Vincent tried it a number of years ago when I believe the Japanese came and they built what is called Little Tokyo. It was a modern place in Kingston where you had the fish market, the meat market, you had the vendors booth, you had the different bus route in the country. So everybody would just go to this one place, and they would be able to get, if they miss something at the supermarket, they can run to one of the shops at the place and get their little bread and you get your little thing to eat. You have nice shelter from the rain and the sun, and seats for the elderlies. You can sit and I am excited about this because I think it will transform transportation in the country.
And those of us who have traveled over the world and thinking that a UWP government intends to construct 2 modern bus terminals.
Yeah.
One in Castries and one in Viewfort. And to be able to allow St. Lucians to no longer standing at at bus shelters, but in an actual terminal.
Yeah.
To be able to take them to different parts of the country.
Yeah.
Up north, down south.
Yes.
And I think it augurs well for the future because it shows that United Workers' Party is forward thinking and is progressive in its thinking also.
And I think that I have an idea that might pose a problem for some minibus drivers in the country, but late at night we know it's a challenge now for individuals working at the hotels, the young people who are working, they're left stranded sometimes on the road late at night after their shift. And I would propose that the government, and this is just an idea, the government at least get 2 buses or something to run late at night. You're not running during the day, but you are there to rescue these workers. If we care about people, we got to look at ways. And I believe that the bus drivers got to cooperate with such a move and support it, because what we do not want is our young, hard-working people getting shut down or killed in the streets or robbed, and they're scared for their lives, so some of them prefer to stay home and not go to work because of the shift. But I think government can work with the minibus associations, start a conversation to hear, what is their take on it. If they can step it up in providing the bus, fine. But if they can't, then the government should be able to say, look, we're going to bring in 2 major buses to get our people from the hotels.
Well, we have not gotten to this stage as yet, but it is an interesting concept. It's an interesting idea. But let me, before we continue, if you allow me to just go through some of the nice things that we want to do in terms of building the terminals and so forth, because we want shelters and we want sitting areas for both drivers and passengers alike.
And bathroom facilities.
This is correct. And bathroom facilities, yes. Even vendoring and shopping.
That's it.
So and security personnel and designated pickup and drop-off zones.
That's in the bus shelters.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Pardon?
That's in the new bus terminal.
This is correct.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And even in the shelters, we would provide sitting areas for drivers and passengers.
Wow.
And I'm saying this would take this country to a period where we are no longer thinking third world, but we are thinking beyond being a third world country, and where we are thinking of the infrastructural development of our country. We are thinking of how easily we can move passengers and goods and services from one point of our country to another. And if we can do that, that means that economically we have a viable economy. We have an economy that is growing. We would have an economy that is expanding because goods and services, including passengers, can move very easily and freely from one point to another.
Yes, yes. And we can get the money to do all this because we have billions of dollars that might be out there from CIP. All that money can help if we, and we'll get to that policy.
All the monies that are sitting in China, all the monies that are being given to, discounted discounts to people who want to buy our passports. A lot of those monies, we will reclaim those monies so that we can use it for the benefit of the people of this country.
Oh my God, I'm excited just listening to it. So, so we now go to, I believe, is in protecting our environment and beaches. The last time I heard the Labour Party singing on the beach, that beach is mine. Jack don't want me to bathe on the beach. The United Workers' Party under the Alan Shastney administration, were they stopping people from bathing on the beaches?
Nope, nobody ever did.
No.
It was just the Labour Party who concocted their own little narrative and used this as if, we are still in colonial times. Just because you had a prime minister who had a light skin complexion. So they made it look like, he was an oppressor. But I'm saying to you, with the fall of colonialism, especially in areas like Africa, and especially in areas like our St. Lucia and the Caribbean, we have a new set of colonialists, and they are called black colonials, just like those that are currently in this government.
Yeah.
Oppressors, persons who lie to their population and to their voters, persons who mislead their voters into seeing the world as black and white, and not seeing the world in terms of an advancement, in terms of our knowledge and understanding of the world, and being able to treat all persons of all races with respect. It is something that we lack in this country, and it is something that this government has continued to enable greater ignorance and greater hatred in this country for persons who happen to not all be black here in St. Lucia. And yet still, we depend on foreign investors, yet still we depend on the tourism industry, where the majority are white people who come to our shores. But yet still we teach St. Lucians how to hate the St. Lucians who were born in this country. And this is a damn shame.
Wow, it is indeed. Now, we speak about protecting our beaches and the environment. I believe we need to have more green space, the preservation of more green space in the country.
Yes.
I believe the city, we can do much more to create that space within the city itself. The city is I think it's becoming a ghost town as far as I'm concerned. And I believe where the halls of justice, they put in that thing, we could have had a major green space there where people can go there, trees, plants, the grass, and people, tourists and locals can sit and enjoy reading a book, enjoying nature.
Plant more trees.
More trees.
Throughout this country, because we need to be able to conserve,
Yes.
and we need to be able to restore the ecosystem here in our country. You understand?
That's we need
and to also ensure that our beaches are all cleaned
Waterways,
constantly, and they are maintained. And so that's why a lot of emphasis is going to be placed also in areas like Bois Château and in areas like Sandy Beach in the south.
Yeah.
Because if you go there right now, those beaches are in a state.
Wow.
And we need to reclaim our national treasure, which the beaches are part of our national treasure, and something that they all of a sudden you do not hear about the trust. The National Trust has suddenly gone quiet. They don't complain about anything anymore.
No.
They're all happy, whilst the country is falling into environmental degradation. We don't hear their voices anymore.
No. It seems everything is fine in the country now.
I would think so. Based on their silence, I've almost believed that they think everything is the way it should be.
But I
But
would
the
I would
problem is,
believe that with a new administration, that we would want to work very closely with these agencies, and
we are
maybe
going to.
if we have any
Yes, we
influence
are going
in
to.
strengthening them, you
Yes,
know,
strengthen the partnership between the government and those agencies.
and those
This
agencies
is
because they are
what the
necessary.
This is one of the thrusts of this policy, what it tends to do in order to protect our environment and the beaches. Yes.
Yes. Okay. So we have the extending of the time for our passports. I think it's 5 years now,
5 years, yes.
and I believe it's the only country or one of the few countries in the region that are doing 5 years.
St. Lucia needs to get to speed with the rest of the world. And not only get to speed with the rest of the world, let us look at some of the benefits that will be derived from a 10-year validity for a passport. It would reduce costs
Yes.
and inconveniences for citizens, and it would be aligned with international best practices and offer greater ease of traveling because 5 years come like that.
Yeah.
But if you have a 10-year passport, you don't have to worry. You travel with ease. You're up to international standards,
Yep.
and you never have to worry that your passport has expired and you didn't even know that it has expired.
And what I observe with the United Workers' Party, they are not too concerned about losing revenue and allowing the citizens to benefit. I observe that with the party.
Anytime you're working in the interest of the citizens of this country,
Yeah.
money should not be the only thing that drives you as a government. But you often have to offer ease for the people and alleviate their sufferings and the burdens that they go through, especially in terms of having a 5-year passport and your visa has expired on it because the passport is no longer valid.
Right, because the government is going to lose, of course, when you increase on the years of the passport, and there's a sacrifice that the party is willing to make because it
Yes.
benefits the people.
It benefits the people.
Yeah.
And St. Lucians should not have to live the way they are living, constantly having to. Let's. I don't want to go to the CIP really because we'll be covering it a little
Yeah.
bit later. But think of it: a CIP person gets their passport mailed to them. Some of them pick up their passport from the lawyers' offices here in this country. But a St. Lucian looking for a passport has to stay in the rain and the sun and to wait for months sometimes before they can even have their passport renewed or they can own a passport for the very first time. How is it that you're putting the people first with a policy that does not give credence or respect to the people of this country? And the only persons who are benefiting from those are those persons who are putting millions to thousands of dollars into buying passports. Some of them have never been to this country, but they have had their passport delivered to them in whatever address they live abroad.
I like that. So right there, I add to my notes, savings for the citizens of the country. Savings for the citizens of the country. We're not taking calls as yet. We're going to take our calls. We'll give Mr. Prudent at least, and I know he's tired, so we will take the calls very soon. We almost finished with introducing or just discussing.
Well, I can go very quickly if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Modernization of castries and supporting vendors.
Tell me.
We want to talk about the revitalization of the city of Castries.
Yes.
And to creating dedicated spaces and infrastructure for vendors and fair and transparent allocation system that does not discriminate based on political affiliations, which is what is currently happening in the city of Castries. A United Workers' Party government will put an end to this level of discrimination. We also want to talk about correcting unlawful CIP discounts, because there are persons
Yep.
who are actually receiving discounts off the price of a passport. And so when we come to office, or when we return back to office, we will ensure they give back those monies that were taken away from the people of St. Lucia, that it is returned to the coffers of the persons, of our citizens, so that we can use it for future development of our country. I also want to talk about introducing, and our one of our policy statements is introducing on unemployment benefits through NIC. And what it means is to expand the NIC to include unemployment benefits for workers, and to establish a framework for fair eligibility and the criteria, and to benefit in terms of distribution. Advocate for the necessary legislative amendments to ensure timely implementation. 13, National Youth Program, which is to be able to teach social responsibility and leadership and conflict resolution to our students. If we were doing that, a lot of the gangs, a lot of the fighting in school, a lot of the lack of discipline that exists in our country would have been curtailed, because we have made our young people a priority by allowing them to volunteer themselves in different programs, and to be able to learn, and to be mature in their minds, and in their way of thinking and the way they view each other, and not settling their differences through gun violence. And basically, I think I have covered the entire 13.
13.
Yes, 13 motions that were placed forward, and that will become policy statements in terms of how our government governs when it comes to office.
And I guess it will help to make up the manifesto for the year 25-26.
Yes, but there will be a lot more added to the manifesto. A lot more will be added to the manifesto.
Yeah, but these are just what was adopted.
Yes, adopted, and allowed that not only adopted, but where you see the common person from the grassroots saying to us as a party, this is what will make us happy. This is what is going to transform our lives. If you do this or you do that, this is how we will be able to live in this country with dignity. And that is why we have gone to the convention, we ratified those motions.
And thank you so much, Mr. Prudent. And I believe that I'm listening to you and I'm getting excited for St. Lucia,
yes,
because it looked like once the United Workers' Party wins the elections, that you will feel a sense of normalcy, I believe. You will not be afraid of any minister cursing you off or exposing your private documents or lack of information and all these kind of things.
Or mentioning your name on radio stations,
yep,
and embarrassing you.
Yeah, I look forward to that time of normalcy within our government very soon. I think the people they're ready for such an era. So, Mr. Prudent, we're going to take some calls, and I'm going to invite the viewers to call, but nobody's going to disrespect my guests or myself on the platform. I will use a couple of buttons that I have here in the studio to flush you out of our system. The number to call is 929-586-1821. I believe we had a caller on the line already, so I'm going to... Whoa. This person was waiting online. Caller, you're on the air. Caribbean American News Media Platform. My guest, Chairman of the United Workers' Party, Mr. Prudent. Go ahead, caller.
Good evening, Garfield. Good evening, the Chairman, the Honorable Chairman of the United Workers' Party. Good evening, all Flubber supporters and listeners and viewers. And good evening, the hacks online. Please come in, welcome, because boy, I am as happy as a birthday party. I'm tired. I have no voice. Well, my voice just came back. But Garfield, I want to say tonight, I want to join the chairman of the United Workers' Party in saying a heartfelt thank you to the delegates of the United Workers' Party. I saw democracy in action.
Yeah.
And once again, for all of those who keep saying that for the United Workers' Party to win, we must get rid of Alan Shastney, get rid of Guy Joseph, get rid of the chairman, get rid of this, like you love Flobo more than yourself, that you don't want to protect your victory. You want to tell us what we must do for us to win. Why would you want us to win? For you to lose?
They're tired of paying. That's what happened to them.
Yeah, you think we deck or we dotish? Well, Flobo supporters, this new Flobo man, them people are not easy. These people came, and like the chairman said, you see, these all those motions came from the floor. And it was given to the people they put to work. And they went wholesale. Now, I hope from after Sunday that the St. Lucia Labour Party will keep all their opinions, all their suggestions to themselves. We're not doing like them, throwing things in waste paper baskets and trash in it. But we say keep it, because our delegates have spoken. They put back Alan Shastney and his team back there without a murmur. Not a murmur. You see Prudent sitting down there? That chairman does not even have not a moment to even have a little discomfort, because, my goodness, you should have seen the delegates, the way they behaved when they show their confidence in the team that they put there. They show what are we? The United Workers' Party. That is what we are, and that is what we stood up for. We don't care what you say about our leader. It's not yours. It is ours, and we are confident in our leader. We are confident in our team. We have only one goal, one mission. We care about our country and our people, and SLP must go. And we are prepared to work. And let me tell you, Garfield, the chairman is right. The management or the executive of this national executive of this team has been working day and night and day to give what happened there on Sunday. We followed our constitution. It may have frustrated our supporters for a while who don't know that we must follow everything in the constitution, meaning that we need to do all the zonals and all of that and all those meetings and late nights. And these people, I don't know how people like the chairman and the political leader and the general secretary and these people can still be standing up, because me that didn't do as much as them, I'm tired like a dog, and yet these people are on their feet. But Sunday, praise the Lord, Garfield. All the hard work, the long nights, the sacrifices, the whole team that work on the ground to put this up together, like Mrs. Lee and her team, and all the others that work to put those functions together, one after the other. Man, it was worth it. And our supporters came out and said, thank you. Thank you. By their presence, they came and they said to the United Workers' Party executive that they put there, they say to them, thank you. We appreciate your hard work. Now we appreciate that you're listening, that we're suffering. We appreciate that you understand, you're taking the note that these are our emotions, these are our policies, these are what we want, because we are suffering. They came out and they said, the others, because not only Flabos that was there, the others that came, the ones that are joining in, came out to say, look, we know we allowed ourselves to be fooled. We know we made a mistake, because nothing is changing. Everything is the same, and it's blame, blame, blame. Shastney, Shastney, Shastney. We are tired of the insults and the disrespect and the all the kinds of lack of integrity that's going on in this country. This country is not what we are accustomed to. We want integrity. We want decency. We want respect to return to this country. We want the hypocrisy to stop. So it's coming back. And that is what we saw. And I'm so proud of the supporters of the United Workers' Party, the Flabo family.
Thank you so much.
Auntie love you all. So thank you all so much. God bless you all. Keep up the good work. Stay focused. get SLP out. And if they tell you anything, tell them call elections. Okay?
No
Thank
problem.
you, people.
We got you. Calling you on the air, Caribbean American News. My guest, Mr. Prudent, chairman of the party, United Workers' Party.
Hey, good night, Brother Garfield, and good night, Mr. Chairman, Prudent.
Good night.
Yes, sir. Greetings.
Yes. Yes. I want to ask the brother a few questions after what happened on Sunday. It was a magnificent crowd. I believe it's not just the hierarchy put in a lot of work, and it is a message not just to the St. Lucia Labour Party, but to the United Workers' Party that the people of the country is ready and is ready to call an early election. And I want to just say, I believe next Sunday we're going to be in Deriso, right, Mr. Prudent?
Yeah, yes, we are going to be in Deriso on Sunday.
Hello?
Yes.
Hold a minute.
Yes,
Go ahead.
Yes, we are
Go
going
ahead,
to
Mr.
be.
Prudent.
Yes, we are going to be in Deriso on Sunday. Yes, on all the.
I'm not hearing him.
Wait, hold a minute. I just got to bring his volume up.
Okay.
Okay.
I was saying, yes, you are right. We are going to be in Deriso and other parts of Miku South on Sunday. Yes.
Okay. So it is a good momentum, and I believe it is the time for us to not just to have the numbers there and to not just to am I in feedback? Sorry about that.
Yeah, you will get the feedback, but go ahead.
Okay. So what I'm trying to say is that I just do not want the momentum to die. And the reason why I do not want it to die, because we must be in a position where that the St. Lucia Labour Party respects us both in Parliament and in the People Parliament. So that we like I said last time to my brother, that we have the numbers to shut down the country, to force those guys, for the entire cabinet to resign, and to call an early election. Don't you agree with that, Mr. Prudent?
Yes, I do, and they will see a lot of action from us on behalf of this country and the people and the suffering people of St. Lucia. The voters of this country deserve the opportunity to elect a new government, but they also deserve an opportunity to be able to express themselves, whether it be through protests, whether it be through other peaceful means. They have that right to be able to do so.
And Mr. Prudent, I thank you very much for that answer, because it gives me hope as a young man that we're on the right side of history and what is happening there, because, there's 2 years now we have a special prosecutor. And I listened to a SLP member saying that they should fire a special prosecutor because they're not getting any UWP members indicted of corruption. The road project from Rosalie, the shock housing project was stopped. They had to do it over again. So there was a number of projects. Richard Patrick used to come and show us thousands and thousands of files with the diamond. We have to hold those guys accountable for the lies, because those lies can amount to high treason, my brother. Those guys have manipulated an entire nation into believing that the Alan Shastney administration was a corrupt and bad administration for the country. And when they knew, they were lying. When they knew, they didn't have the ability to govern. Alan Shastney was doing a good job at the time. Who's going to be held accountable? Thousands of young people are dying. The first year of Philip J. Pierre, after COVID-19, he released he pardoned all the people, Alan Shastney and the government, when he was doing violations of COVID-19. Over 500 people died.
Colin, Mr. Prudent wants to respond.
In the first year alone, after COVID-19 and the Philip J. Pierre.
Yeah.
Thousands of our young people are dying every single day. Yeah. The hospitals do not have equipment.
Mr. Prudent wants to have a conversation with you. Hold a minute, caller. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. I just want to assure the caller that the United Workers' Party, when we come to office, has no intentions of firing the special prosecutor. We'll have a lot of work for him, and we'll have a lot of movement towards ensuring that all those who have been dishonest, all those who have laundered the monies of our country, all those who have done things that they were not supposed to do in their capacity in government, are held accountable for what they have done, and I can assure you that.
Well, I thank you, brother. I rest my case there. I have faith in the United Workers' Party. Richard Frederick has to pay for his lies and his deception and his manipulation of a nation on his talk show, because I do not, up to 2 years, 4 years now, the thousands of files he had, where is them today? Why the prosecutor haven't arrested Alan Shastney or Guy Joseph or anybody? So those guys must be held accountable for the disaster they have caused. Every section of our society has collapsed. We do not have a society anymore. It will be Mount Everest twice to bring this country back to what it was in the Alan Shastney time. And it will even take another 5 mountains to climb just to bring us to a point of development. So it will not only be 5 years. We're going to be thinking about just the 5 years election. We must be thinking about long term, but it's a fight. Have a blessed night.
Thank you so much, Colin.
And God bless the United Workers' Party, and God bless the St. Lucian people.
Thank you.
And we will make St. Lucia great. Not again, because St. Lucia was never great. We will make St. Lucia great.
Thank you.
By God's grace.
All right. Calling you on the air, Caribbean American News, my guest, Mr. Prudent, Chairman of the United Workers' Party. Caribbean American News, my guest, Mr. Prudent.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, and good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
First of all, I want to congratulate you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
For a successful series of events. Namely, the Donor Council series, the delegates, and the convention underneath it. I want to put some questions in the wind. And also to air on the side of trust.
We having some issues with your phone, but go ahead, caller.
Now that we have, I think I know what's happening. Hold on.
Yeah.
Now that we have come into election mode, it is the time for us to play politics. Now, today, Mr. Chair, I don't like the quality of that call. I'll have to call back.
Okay, you're going to call back?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So the call is going to reconnect. I believe the internet is unstable on his end. He might be using his Wi-Fi. So the lines are open, 929-586-1821. 929-586-1821. That is going to get you on the air. Again, you're listening to Caribbean American News Media Platform. We're live on GVD TV channel 115. We're also on our YouTube channel and our Facebook channel. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead, caller, you're on the air.
Good evening, Brother Garfield.
Hey, Dr. Ian.
Hi, good evening, Ian. How are you?
I'm good, Mr. Chairman. I want the executive on your appointment again.
Thank you.
And that I want that you're going to do.
Okay,
Two quick questions, Mr. Brother Garfield. I want to make a question insofar as level of organization from the party government. The case in point, as you know, sometime a few months ago, the vendor Joyce was victimized. She was only because pledge of United Party. You saw the security detail because a sitting government minister instructed the police on his to in them for no call. And of the opposition, it was withdrawn from him, which is a security risk. And now we're hearing that a case of situation I'm referring to Kaka. He's a police officer on the platform on Sunday. Showed no allegiance or have no allegiance to either party. But yet still we're hearing a government minister injured, the police discipline. So I want to ask, what will the United Workers or what can the United Workers to prevent this left the Labour Party?
So you're speaking about the vendor, Miss Fannis, who had who the housing minister had some issues with, and then you're asking about Kakal, one of the performers at the function on Sunday. It is rumored that he was suspended or is going to be transferred, and I can only say rumored because I do not have any evidence on that. I've not heard anything really, Mr. Prudent.
Yes. Well, I don't know much about it, except I'm hearing it on social media that he will be transferred. But if this is the case, I am saying that it shows that we have entered into a totally undemocratic system here in our country. And it also means that we have what you call a police state, meaning that the police is so overtly, or the leadership of the police is so overtly political, and that it doesn't seem that it has that level of independence to be able to make decisions on its own, but the decisions that are made are derived from political persuasions or political pressure. I am not saying that this is what is happening currently in the police force, but based on what I am hearing and the transfer of this person here, transfer of that person here, I am saying one ought to be worried that maybe the leadership of the police force does not have that level of independence, and that it is run essentially by a political apparatus, which is the government of the day. And so if a police officer like Kakal, who basically is an entertainer, sang songs that were every St. Lucian from Labour to UWP loved during the carnival season, cannot be allowed as an entertainer in his spare time, in his private time, to sing at a event the very same songs that nobody ever punished him for, then I am saying we have a big problem on our hands in this country. I also want to make special mention of the situation with Joycelyn Fannis, and that is why the United Workers' Party is saying that we want to implement, with the modernization of castries and shopping and supporting the vendors, that we want to implement a fair and transparent allocation system that does not discriminate based on political affiliation. And if the United Workers' Party's new policy is implemented, it also means that no one, whether you SLP, whether you Labour, you will not be discriminated based on your political affiliation. And anytime a government is heavy-handed, anytime ministers of government does not allow the police force or the judiciary system to operate independently of government, then I am saying we have turned into a totalitarian nation. We are a nation that is led by dictators, which is what I am afraid is happening here in our country slowly, and eroding the democracy that Sir John created with his own hands, eroding the values of free speech, of free association, which we have used to in this country of ours, which is St. Lucia. And it means that we need to fight back. The people of this country cannot stay quiet while politicians and other persons mingle in the judiciary, mingle in police work, mingle in everything that they shouldn't have their hands in. You ask yourself, where is the separation of powers in this country? Where is the separation that allows judges to make decisions or rulings without having to be afraid of the political powers? Where is the justice in this country when a police force is the leadership of a police force is pushed to punish persons who they or police officers they believe are not towing the political line that they would like to see. And so we have to ask ourselves all these questions. We have to ask ourselves, where is St. Lucia heading? And that's why I'm appealing to the voters of this country tonight to make up your mind. Your country is already in a deplorable condition. Our country is already being run by people who lack respect for even elected officials like them, cutting off their mics in the House of Assembly, preventing them from being able to represent the views of the people they represent. And I am saying to you, make up your mind this evening and ensure that this St. Lucia Labour Party government is eradicated through the polling booth, and to ensure that they find themselves back in opposition, because they do better as an opposition than a governing party.
Thank you so much, Mr. Prudent.
Go
ahead.
Before you go quickly, I will quickly, for the benefit of clarity and just to debunk the propaganda rhetoric of the party, that when you keep to the what for your mom, give all the facts, because we know the Labour Party they're attempting now to speak that Alan Chapman on to when you were receiving the mom. So could you just say and the world what really transpired?
You can hear Mr. Chair?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good.
I want to make it very clear that I share a very solid relationship with the leader of the United Workers. There's great respect from me to him, and there's great respect from him to me. And they took in a moment when he practically, they claim, didn't shake my hands. But what they didn't see or did not report were the countless moments in the 4.5 hours we were at the convention where we were jamming each other, when we were speaking in each other's ears, when we were laughing and smiling and clapping together. They didn't show these things. But a desperate St. Lucia Labour Party will take this incident and make it look like as if we are at odds. There's no issue of infighting between myself and our political leader, Alan Chasney. He is, in my view, and the view of most persons who work with him, the most caring individual, the most supportive individual of his team, which is what we are. We're a team. We work together as a team. And so when you come today, you have all these so-called St. Lucia Labour Party people claiming they're crying for me. Yadi is calling me and telling me, Ipakota Sashas ne. You understand? And I am thinking to myself, are you all out of your minds? Where you all get that nonsense from? Where you all get this nonsense from that I am not respected? Where you get this nonsense from that Alan Chasney and I are at political odds? There is no issue in the United Workers' Party in terms of division within myself, Alan Chasney, Guy Joseph, or any of us. We are working together as a team to be able to do the work of the people of St. Lucia and to follow the will of the people which is to remove this government from office. I can't hear you, Pastor Gaffel.
Sorry. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have a call on the air. Caribbean American News Media Platform. Caller, you on the air. Caller?
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Go ahead, caller.
Good night to you all, gentlemen. Good night.
Good night.
Let me ask Mr. Prudent a simple question. The ruling of the Speaker, is it final or not?
The ruling from the Speaker, is it final or not?
That's the question. Yeah.
I am not an authority on this, so I can't comment whether or not the ruling is final.
Did you just say that the Speaker was not allowed to speak in the House of Assembly?
Caller, could you repeat your question?
Mr. Prudent said before, and that's why I'm calling him, that Mr. Shastny was not allowed to speak in the House of Assembly.
If you turn
So
the
now
mic,
asking-
Hold a minute, caller.
if you turn the mic off, that means that you have an intention to prevent him from being heard. And the disrespect that continues from this government is pathetic. It is something that no St. Lucian should accept in our country.
Caller, you got your answer?
No, because Mr. Prudent is well read.
He's what?
He's a well read man.
Could you repeat? I didn't hear you.
I said Mr. Prudent is a well read man.
Right.
And therefore, he can go and check what are the powers of the Speaker of the House in the Commonwealth.
Caller.
And if you want me to read it for him,
Caller, hold a minute.
I will read it for him.
Caller, hold a minute. This is not the House of Assembly, one. And maybe you can call Mr. Prudent one-on-one to have that conversation with him. But we are dealing with the issues. If there's something, we are dealing with the policies of the United Workers' Party that came out of the meeting. If you have any concern about those, you can ask him questions, anything you want to say on that. But to have him like he's in court, I don't even have my judge uniform on yet, and you asking him to about the Speaker.
What he's trying to do is to ensure that the truth does not come to light, that this is an oppressive government, and that this is a government that does not respect the rights of others to be heard.
Yeah, so caller, we're not going to go anywhere with this.
Mr. Garfield.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Garfield.
I'm listening.
Let me say something to you.
Talk to me.
When I asked him the question the very first time, his answer was, I am not an expert on that.
Right, so you should accept that he's not an expert.
So why can't you accept it? But I do know,
because I know you're well read.
I do know disrespect when I see disrespect.
And you know,
I do see threats that are being made in the House when I see it. And as a citizen of this country, and also the chairman of the United Workers' Party, I will stand for my leader. I will defend him, and I will call out the nonsense that happens in St. Lucia's Parliament currently.
Have you ever seen?
Caller, you'll have to move quickly because we have some other calls, and Mr. Prudent got to go.
I'm going to move with him.
Go ahead.
Because
is there anything? Hold a minute, sir. Is there anything in the country that's affecting you, or do you want to say something nice about the Labour Party? You have the opportunity. Go ahead.
Listen to me. I'm a well-traveled person.
Mr. Prudent also and myself. Go ahead.
Likewise, myself.
There is no perfect government in the world.
The Alan Shastny administration was perfect to you all, or not perfect?
Excuses. Excuses, that's why the line that you're using, that there is no perfect government in the world, is just to shield the
They have
St. Lucia
never
Labour
been.
Party. And
Well,
that's what you
They have never
and
been.
that's what you're doing
are
right
you a
now.
supporter of the
To
Labour
shield
Party?
them.
Am I a supporter of the St. Lucia Labour Party?
Yeah.
I will tell you categorically yes.
Good. So,
And I've been in
we
politics
knew
long
that.
before Mr. Prudent.
okay, well, that is of no
Long before
consequence.
Mr. Prudent I've been in politics long before.
Yeah, well, we're not here
Okay,
for
but
that kind of
being
campaign,
in
for that kind
politics
of
longer than
competition.
I'm not
does
campaigning.
not
I'm
necessarily
not
mean that you
campaigning.
have the
I'm not
discerning
campaigning.
spirit to
All I
understand
ask
when
Mr.
something is
Prudent is,
wrong.
let me ask him the final question.
Final question.
Let me ask him the final question.
Final question, sir.
Have you ever seen an umpire put somebody out and they do not walk out? The ruling of the umpire is final, and he must take that and understand it.
Okay.
The ruling of the speaker in the house is always
can go
final,
round
and there can
and round
never
and
be
round
anything.
and round
You will stand for your right.
in your
Thank you,
defense
sir,
of the
for giving
St.
me that
Lucia
time.
Labour
Okay, let Mr.
Party.
Prudent respond to you.
It does. You can go round and round and round in your defense of the St. Lucia Labour Party, but it does not make what happened and transpired in the House and has continued to transpire in this House, which is the Parliament House, in the Parliament of St. Lucia. It doesn't make it right.
No,
It
sir.
doesn't make it right.
Yeah.
And even the blind man can see that this is prejudice against the political leader of the United Workers' Party and bias towards him.
Well, he didn't wait for your full response, but I think he wanted us to bring order in the House, Mr. Prudent. He will have to wait until the election is won by the United Workers' Party.
When the United Workers' Party comes in, there will be order.
There will be order in the House, sir.
Once more.
Yes, thank you. We're going to take a few more calls, and then Mr. Prudent will have to go. Caller, you're on the air.
Yes, me again, Pastor Garfield.
Yes, sir.
Chairman.
Yes.
Welcome back.
As I was attending,
I am not
now
sure.
that we have done all the work, I want us to concentrate the politics, the raw politics. Mr. Chair, let me ask you a question. In the last election, which candidates of the Labour Party or independents won by the widest margin?
Which of the independents won by the larger margin?
Which
Is
of
this
the
question?
candidates, including the independents of Stevenson King and Richard Frederick?
Stevenson King had a bigger margin than Richard Frederick. Kenson Casimir
Yes,
had
he
a
won, I
larger
think,
margin.
by over 2,000 votes.
Yes.
That is correct. Yes.
And I think
Now,
Richard was
this
about
is a
7.
man- This is a man who sat next to our political leader, and he betrayed the party.
Yes.
And he won by the widest margin of all the candidates throughout the country. I want us to be extremely vigilant this time and be mindful of modes who are intended to penetrate the party and to leak out information. That is when I talk about the politics, these are the kind of things that we need to be mindful of. Because the Labour Party is not going to run the upcoming election on policy. They don't have a record to show what they have done. And dirty tricks will be at the top of their agenda. And you should know, Mr. Chairman, that mold, planting of mold in any political organization, sadly, is routine in politics. So it makes no sense for us to have all the competencies and prepare our candidates and our campaign strategy. And we have people amongst us who are hell-bent on leaking out information to the enemy. I am afraid that we have ever paid enough attention to that aspect of the politics. And also, if we remember the past election, we had one of the biggest motorcades or rallies in history. And what happened? Look how badly we lost the election in terms of seats. Crowds don't win elections. Polls don't win elections. Meetings don't win elections. Elections are won on polling day.
Yeah, well, it's crowd on polling day that wins election, caller.
Well, once you can take the crowd to the polls on election day, you have won election.
Yeah.
Yes. But also, I am saying this because I think our supporters, the crowd that we have on Sunday, and this may give us a false sense of security that we might rest on our laurels. No.
We're basically
Let us
not. We're
take
not
an
resting on our
example from what happened at the last rally with the massive crowd that we had, and we lost the election.
Yeah, Mr. Prudent want to respond to you, caller.
We're not. The momentum is there, and so there's no reason to rest on our laurels. We have announced that we are going to be in Miku South on Sunday. I don't need to spell out on a public forum what the nature of our meeting is going to be there, but we are going to be there. And moving forward, it's not just going to be this Sunday, it's going to be every day. Every day. No longer are we going to sit down, or I'm going to allow as party chair that we just don't do anything. We have an election to win. We have to put boots on the ground, and we have to be ready whenever that election is held or called, to be able to fight fire with fire and to be able to educate the St. Lucian populace so that when the final day comes, which is on election day, they will all march to the polls to vote for a United Workers' Party government. This is the hope, and this should be what all of us should be thinking: educating people, debunking the nonsense the Labour Party puts out there. For example, that there is issues between myself and Alan Shastney. All day long, they're crying for me. Labour's are crying for me. Could you believe that? Labour Party loves TP so much that they're crying for him because he's in a terrible situation because of what Alan Shastney has done to him. Nonsense. Rubbish. You know? And we need to remain focused as a party, because in the end, that is what is going to determine how far we go and the size of our victory, based on the kind of work that we put on the ground.
Caller, anything else? We have some other calls lined up.
Yes, finally, let me get this again and reiterate. The vigilance that we have to test the strategy and the existence of mold. That's my contribution.
Thank you so much, caller.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Caller, you on the Caribbean American News Media platform. We have 8 calls in queue, but Mr. Prudent cannot stay that long. But go ahead, caller.
Hello, good evening.
You're on the air, Dr. Jimmy.
Hi, Jimmy.
Well, hi there. I sometimes listen to. Hang on. I think I have a problem.
No, the echo is from our end.
Oh, it's your end?
Yes, but it's okay. It's coming through clear on the system.
Okay, I'm just hearing it on my end. Okay. I don't say. I think sometimes that we tend to allow ourselves to be distracted and to pick on the Labour Party's narrative. And I believe this is the time where the party should be focused, laser focused, Because maybe for the first time since we lost the election, we are in the political ascendancy. And what I mean by that is the Labour Party has been under defense for maybe the last 3 weeks consecutively. The El Guapo has been very effective. That attack, that line, that messaging has been very effective. The healthcare, the high cost, the crime, so it has been so effective that the only response the Labour Party has is to either talk about pictures from Grenada or that the police community did not take the chairman's hand.
That's true. That is true. That is true.
And I, to be honest with you, do you think that somebody would not vote for the UWP because the political leader did not shake the chairman's hand?
Sorry.
Absolutely, it's ridiculous.
Sorry for laughing, Jimmy.
And that's why there are some things we should not waste our time to respond to.
We're going to flush it tonight before we leave, don't worry.
Yeah.
We should pivot.
Yes.
That when these points are brought up to us, we should pivot and remind them that there are billions of dollars unaccounted for in the CIP.
Yeah.
We should pivot and remind them that we have to have record years of homicide under this government. And so on and so forth. All the ills and the things that are affecting the people, because these are the issues that the people will be voting on. Not whether a picture, everybody knows, including the Labourers, and that has scared them, about the crowd that was in Denver.
Well, they said there were no crowd, you know, but it is what it is.
Because, you see, it is the crowd that has built up the confidence and enthusiasm of the UWP people who were there or who watched it on the media. It is the crowd that has demotivated and scared the Labour Party.
Yes.
That is why the only defense they have is that chasse n'est pas sous couleur mais est prudent. So, gentlemen and Mr. Chairman, I'm hoping that tomorrow our party forgets about those nonsensical from the Labour Party, and we go back to hitting them in the facts
We've turned the pages.
and the issues that are affecting the people of Kensington. And I think once we do so, that the people have begun to listen. And the ground is beginning to fit. Thank you very much, and good job, Mr. Chairman, on the convention. There were some things I didn't agree with, but I'm not going to talk about those. The convention is over, and the meeting was fantastic. And I think you guys made the best choices as far as the candidates that you selected are concerned. Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you.
Yep. Mr. Chairman, boy, and Jimmy's kind of right, because I am surprised that the Labour Party, these guys have stopped campaigning for themselves and they're campaigning for the United Workers' Party after Sunday.
They have, because basically they're trying to say to us who our leaders should be. They're concerned that if Alan sat too far away from me, or if I'm sitting on the opposite side, I mean, this is not political maturity. For a political party that has been in existence since 1951, the Labour Party is exhibiting traces or characteristics of a disorganized entity, and petty stuff, nonsense. That's what they feed on. And I am saying, Jimmy is right, and I did say it on my page this morning, that we have to remain focused. because we have an election to win. Let
Yeah.
Labour worry about what shoes whoever is wearing. Let them worry about whether or not the leader of the political leader and TP are at odds and he didn't shake his hands.
Yeah.
That is for them. As of tomorrow morning, we are going to we are returning back to what is most important, which is the issues that the people of this country care about. We are returning back to the fact that we have a momentum.
Yeah.
And whether or not they want to pretend as if they didn't see the crowds, whether they want to pretend as if it was successful, we know, they are scared.
Right.
And this is why I challenge them. If you think that we are so unprepared, if you think that we are not ready, then have your leader, instead of ringing the bell in Dominica, ring it here in St. Lucia.
Yeah. Caller, you're on the air. One more call.
Mr. Chairman and Mr. And Garfield
Yes,
and
ma'am.
Flubber supporters, stop it. Just stop it.
Stop what?
We have an election to win. Our people must stop forwarding all those nonsense propaganda from the SLP. The SLP are desperate. They see the ground is shifting. If you had 20 people there at the convention, they would have said that what a dismal failure. Now they see the big crowds, and the rubbish is crowds don't make you win an election. We don't need your advice. We don't want to see your propaganda, and you, Flubber supporters, have to stop it. Stop circulating all the nonsense, all the things you see they post. Post what we are putting out. Post what we are saying. Go and comment underneath what UWP say. UWP works so hard to give you all this convention. Do you think we are not working to prepare for the election? Do you think we have time? We want to win an election. Stay focused. Stay standing with your leaders. Defend each other, one for all for one. Put this wall in front of SLP. Block them once and for all. Please, we have an election to win. No more SLP propaganda. Shut them down. Shut them down, because they are afraid, and they know that UWP is ready to govern this country and do the right thing and bring us to the place where we're supposed to be. Please, Mr. Chairman, speak to your people. Ask them to stop it, because I wouldn't even give that thing nonsense. And they're sending it to me. I keep deleting it today, and I'm still hearing it. No more. Thank you, Garfield, for giving me this opportunity.
No problem, Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Well, there are certain things that we have to respond to. We don't spend time on it.
No.
But but the question was asked by Ian, and so an answer had to be given to Ian because of the question that he asked.
Yeah.
It was concerning to him, and I'm sure concerning to other persons. But let me say something. The policies that we discussed this evening, these resolutions, I should say, it reaffirms our commitment to progress, fairness, prosperity for all St. Lucians, and rest assured that the UWP government will deliver real solutions and rebuild our economy and create opportunities for every St. Lucian. I want to say this evening that we are in the zone, which is a zone of change. We are in a zone where we can see light at the tunnel. But as UWPs, we must not take anything for chance. We must not sleep on us. We must be awake so that we can see what is happening, so that we can move forward and to be able to remove the impediments that the St. Lucia Labour Party is placing in the way or path of the people of this country. We have an opportunity to reclaim St. Lucia. We have an opportunity to clean it up of governmental corruption. We have an opportunity to offer hope to the people and young people of this country. We have an opportunity to not try to appoint crime prevention ministers, but to understand that crime can only be managed, not prevented. So when you have a scenario of a minister of national security, you have a home affairs minister, you have a minister of crime prevention, and still for that, they cannot get a handle on crime. It just speaks to how weak and unprepared the St. Lucia Labour Party have been in terms of its preparation for governing this country.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I would want to add to the policies that some of the policies that we discussed tonight. I would believe that as a government in waiting, that we would have been so prepared for the leadership of the country that we would start working on the night of the elections. Even though you're not sworn in as yet, but work would have already, you will actually hit the ground running because we have no time for delay.
That's right. The country has a lot of problems. Labour will be leaving a lot of issues for us to resolve, and our government will no doubt be ready to hit the ground on day one. We have a purpose, we have a zeal, we have the vigor to be able to tackle the challenges of this country. And most of all, we have a leader who will be able to steer St. Lucia to safe harbors, as opposed to being out there in the rough seas with a boat, a ship that is sinking, led by Philip Pierre.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. And I have, my viewers, I have a presentation that I'm going to be doing sometime next weekend. Next weekend on racism in St. Lucia. And I have an article from 2006 or somewhere there where an individual who is now championing the cause of the Labour Party did engage in racial slurs, and we as a party, we denounce those racism and prejudice, and bigotry, we denounce it, we don't support it, and we believe that all men are created equal in the image of Almighty God, and all men should be treated with dignity, whether they're white, black, pink, Indian, whether they have disability or they are mentally challenged. As a matter of fact, we need to have a better housing for our mentally challenged and better care for the mentally challenged. In other words, all people, even our women who were raped, must be dealt with dignity as first-class citizen in the country. And so I would ask all our supporters to keep themselves, restrain yourself, control yourself. Do not get involved in the racist discussions that we're seeing happening out there. It is not good for us as a developing state. It is not good for us as human beings. There are people who lost their lives as champion for freedom in this country. And so for those of you in these small countries, some of you don't even understand the struggles, the fight, so that we can enjoy those freedoms. Let's not go back there, friends. All men are created equal, and I can tell you the Honorable Alan Shastney is my political leader. I stand strongly with him. I don't care about his color. I don't care about his weaknesses. We can work with that by the grace of God. All of us have our challenges, and I believe Mr. Shastner is the leader for this time. If you need a leader that will stand with you in time of crisis, and we are in a time of crisis with the wars and the embargoes and restrictions, and by the way, the United States government, they are about to revoke visas of government leaders who are doing business with a certain country in the region. So crapper will smoke our pipe if we do not have a strong leader that can stand up and negotiate with the U.S. government, stand up and for his people. And Shasney have proven himself during the COVID-19 crisis. And if I am looking for a leader in any other crisis, I will choose a man that was tested and proven. Mr. Prudent, your final words. That was just my little rant.
Yes. Thank you for inviting me on the platform. And I want to say thank you to your viewers for being patient with me and allowing me the opportunity to be able to present the motions and the policy statements that will help the United Workers' Party govern this country, among others. I want to say to you that a new day is upon us, and it will soon be upon us. And so we have to prepare ourselves to meet that day and to meet the challenges of that day. And it also means that we have to be fortified. It also means that we have to be ready. It also means that we have to be discerning in terms of what is wrong and what is right, and to prepare ourselves for the fight ahead, which is nothing short but to remove this government from office. I thank you very much.
And thank you so much, Mr. Prudent, for being here with us. We really appreciate it. And we look forward to, managing, governing the country when Philip Juppé decide to call the elections. Thank you so much for being here with us, folks. That was our chairman of the United Workers' Party, Mr. Prudent. Before you go, I want to just present something here to you. This is one of the pictures. This is not in Grenada, of course. This is here. There in St. Lucia, the night of the convention.
Our next award.
Mamai Flabo! That's all power. I want to say that first I must thank the good Lord. He or she has continued to give me strength, has continued to give me the wisdom, but most importantly, he's given me the reason to stay and lead the United Workers' Party to victory at the next election. Not less important, but very important to me. I want to thank my wife, who I don't have to tell you has been a pillar of strength. Not only for me in our home, but very importantly to the United Workers' Party in the community nights. And wherever there is somebody who needs help, my wife is always going to be there. So I thank. So it's with a very full heart and lots of energy that I say to all of you, thank you to the family of United Workers' Party.
And this is Ms. Natasha Gray Brooks, of the political leader of the People's Action Movement of St. Kitts. So she's right here.
All protocols observed. On behalf of my party, I wish the UWP a successful convention. It is a pleasure to be a part of your convention, albeit virtually. You have chosen a very fitting theme, and it is truly time for you to right the wrong. UWP, are you ready to right the wrong? I can't hear you. Are you ready to right the wrong? You gather at a very pivotal moment, at a time when your country's future hangs in the balance. I am sure you recognize with anything comes challenges, but you also possess immense potential. And at the heart of realizing that potential lies one crucial element: leadership. Leadership matters. We have seen in St. Kitts and Nevis, and I'm sure you have seen it too in St. Lucia, the difference between a country thriving and one that is struggling. The difference between a country united and one divided. And more often than not, that difference comes down to the quality of your leadership. Today, I want to talk about a specific kind of leadership: principled leadership. That means leadership that is not swayed by fleeting trends or personal gain. It means leadership that makes the right choices for the right reasons and for the right people. Principled leaders are guided by a strong moral compass. They prioritize the well-being of their people above all else. They understand that true progress isn't about short-term victories, but about building a sustainable and equitable future for everyone. Why is principled leadership important? Stability. In times of uncertainty, principled leaders provide a steady hand. Progress. Principled leaders aren't afraid to make tough decisions. Trust. Trust is the bedrock of any successful community. Unity. Principled leaders bridge divides and foster collaboration. Today, I want to be even more direct. You are not here simply to discuss abstract concepts. We are here because you are facing real, pressing challenges that demand immediate attention. You are here because your healthcare system is struggling. Too many families are facing long wait times, inadequate care, and crippling medical bills. Your streets are not safe. Crime and violence are tearing at the fabric of your society. The cost of living is crushing you. Everyday essentials are becoming increasingly unaffordable. These are not abstract problems. These are the realities that you face every single day. You must call on your government to invest in your health care. Implement comprehensive crime prevention strategies. Take concrete steps to reduce the cost of living. You cannot afford to wait, St. Lucia. UWP, you cannot afford to be silent. You cannot afford to accept the status quo.
And thank you so much. I wanted to listen to the entire, this speaker, Mr. Prudent.
She was very good. Yeah,
all
very
the speakers, the females, they were on fire and on point.
They all were very impressive.
And I don't know what spirit took you guys, but you guys made the right choice in inviting these professional women, and I believe, like your selection of women in St. Lucia, that we are expecting the same powerhouse in the country that they will be the mountain movers in the country, and much stronger than C.O. Williams and company, my friends. They say C.O. Williams moving mountain. Well, these women that I'm seeing here, they will move the country. So thank you so much to all our viewers and our those of you on GVD TV, on YouTube, and on the other channels. We are so happy. We want to announce to you folks the newest radio station in St. Lucia, and that is Fire FM. We look forward to 24 hours broadcast of the what you would call a democracy radio in St. Lucia. And so, Mr. Prudent, thank you all so much for introducing us to this new media, and we look forward to tuning in.
It's a lot, very exciting, and lots of beautiful days ahead for us.
Yes, I'm excited.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, thank you. So good night, folks,
Thank
and
you.
thanks again, Mr. Prudent. We shall see you again. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Welcome to Caribbean American News Media State of the Nation with Garfield Oliver. The news